Join me today, heading out on a quick errand. Got to take this to hospital. My mum's been unfortunately admitted to hospital because she's fallen over. And I thought I'd take this opportunity to take up the challenge by Moto Mengy on how the pandemic has influenced my riding. I'm gonna need a bit of luggage. Sorry about that, just smacked you. A bag might have been better. Yeah. Oh well. The rack's on at the moment. I haven't got the seat cover on, so I might as well make use of having it, although it's a bit overkill for what I need. Done. Okay, off to the hospital now. My mum has had a fall and she's broken her hip and her knee, so she's in hospital at the moment, and she's got a mobile but she doesn't have a phone charger, so I'm taking a little package to her. I've got a phone charger, a little power bank and a plug, as well as some earplugs because I know she can never sleep in hospital, a couple of other little bits and pieces that I think she'll find useful. Just a little care package. Fortunately I won't be able to go in and visit her, but I can drop the stuff off at reception. Let's crack on with that. Let's get to the hospital, and while I'm riding there I can take on this challenge. Alright guys, on the way to the hospital now, so let's take this opportunity to answer Moto Mengy's challenge. How has the pandemic influenced my riding? If you're not following Moto Mengy, please go check him out. He's got a gorgeous Honda Goldwing. I've linked his channel along with the people that I challenge in the video description. So how has the pandemic influenced my riding? Living in the UK, when the UK Prime Minister declared the lockdown regulations, it was quite clear we were not allowed out on our bikes for just random rides. You weren't allowed to go to work if you weren't a frontline worker. So there was no commuting, there was no jolly rides. The only real opportunity to ride was if you were going out to get essentials such as food. But when I have a convenience store right underneath my accommodation, I had no reason to ride. So I had months where I didn't ride. I didn't see friends. Most of my friends are bikers now. Great guys, but we didn't see each other for months. There was no riding, and I did miss it. And I'll be honest, once I did start riding again, I was a bit rusty. It definitely took a little while to, should we say, get back in the saddle. What's she doing? I'm glad I didn't change lanes there, because she wasn't indicating and she just changed lanes. Started riding to deliver donated, Jesus, it's all of them out on the road today, isn't there? So I started riding to deliver donated PPE to frontline workers. There was a huge lack of safety gear, PPE, so face masks, the shields, gloves, and even scrubs. People obviously go into hospital, whether it be COVID related or not, and there was the frontline workers and they didn't have enough equipment to protect themselves whilst trying to help you and I, and that's just wrong. The NHS workers were left doing their job without the proper safety gear. So I joined a group and found out that there were a few organisations which had great connections, and they were working with people who had safety gear. So there were some factories which actually continued working to create safety gear, so they might make clothing and they stopped to make scrubs or safety masks. So we had this safety gear which then needed to get to the frontline workers, and this organisation was really well run. It had top down, you know, people who had the connections at the NHS and knew where the gear needed to be and could organise that. There were coordinators who worked with people like myself who were riders who joined the group, who were, you know, vetted, who then took the gear to the people who needed it, and it was all coordinated and organised by this group, and they did a fantastic job. So they would message up on the joint group that they need to get this gear and this is what it is. Sometimes it was a small package, other times you'd need a full gear on your bike, you know, multiple panniers and top boxes. Sometimes I think there was one or two which actually required a car or multiple riders, you know, 3 riders to deliver all this gear. And I've done it 8 times now, and most of them I've done have been relays. So the gear might be coming from London and it's going up north, or vice versa. So they would organise riders like myself to meet up with other riders along route and do handovers of the gear. I've actually got a video on it already, which I'll link up in the top right hand corner now. Please feel free to go check that out. I'll also link it in the end of this video. It was the first PPE delivery I did, and as I said, now I've done 8 of them and I'm still doing them. So that was when I got back into riding, delivering this PPE gear to where it needed to be. But getting back on my bike to do those, I was a little rusty. Had to take it easy, as I'm sure a lot of people did. And I ride a lot for my mental health, and I live in central London, and I live in a small city apartment, and I feel for, you know, anyone who got ill or suffered, but for me, I have to be honest, it was a challenge to stay indoors, and I did it. You know, I didn't go out, I didn't go meet with friends, but months and months on end with no real contact, not going to work, not going out my door, and in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment, that was a challenge. It was quite lonely, and I missed riding. I missed riding with my friends. I missed just being on the bike. But it was the right thing to do. I look after travel for an international company, so work has been a little slower for me. I had a lot of other projects which I was doing, thankfully, so unlike some of my peers in the industry, I was not furloughed because, well, one of the biggest tasks that I was undertaking was to actually claw back a lot of the airline fares where we had employees that had already paid for flights. Those flights are cancelled. We had $250,000 US tied up with airlines, so I had to work to get as much of that back as possible where we could. Challenge accepted, Moto Mengy. There we go, that's me. That's how I was influenced and my riding was influenced by the pandemic. I appreciate riding a lot more now. I appreciate going out with and meeting friends a lot more now. So it's now for me to nominate 3 people. So let's have a think. Duke's Daily Diaries, I nominate you. Shortbikerblondie, I nominate you. And this is just for fun. I very much doubt he'll ever see my video, but I'm going to nominate TMF just for kicks, just to see if this video can get to him, just to see if he takes up the challenge, or even he finds out that I challenged him. How did the pandemic influence your riding, your ability to ride? There you go, guys, you 3. I've linked you guys also in the item description. If you're not following any of those three, then go check them out. So guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to crack on, get this phone charger to my mum. I'm almost there, so thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.
Is that light work with the bass on the track, on my face to the back like I'm taking a slap. I need a drink but it's straight from the tap, and I'm hating the slack. Couple man slide around like the hate in the gaff. Please stop talking that trash, cause the vibes in the front all the way to the back.